Greetings, I am Luz.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Let's do a garden together.
Let's grow a garden together.
Let's do a fork in the garbage disposal. Ding, 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 ding.
I don't know who Karen is, but she's got a sale.
Who's Karen?
We haven't met her yet, apparently.
Oh boy, well, we're screwed now.
So again, we're just like, games will give you spoilers everywhere without really thinking about it. It's amazing.
Like, at all.
All right, so we are going to go ahead and move forward and just forget about our free lives. It's fine. We're going to start a new day.
Yay!
New day.
New day.
For
new
everyone
day.
who has joined us for this series, thank you for that. This has been really cool. Ah, home sweet home. And no lingering Larry smell. One disaster averted. Now I can finally get some sleep. Are we saying that he is bald, fat, and smelly?
Yep, we are literally, I figured that, unfortunately, with that stereotype, which
That is really unfortunate.
And
I don't
that's not
like it.
to say that we don't have, like, Leisure Suit Larry bullcrap going on, but I'm still like, I find it to be unfortunate because also in some ways it really doesn't drive people to become any better. I
feel like harmful reductive stereotypes are harmful reductive stereotypes.
Yes.
That one? Yes, that one.
Yes.
All right. Some sleep. Luke? Oh, here's Luke. He has
Hey!
reappeared.
Hey.
What's up? Everything okay?
I'm leaving.
Oh, okay. Do you need me to watch Roxy? I mean,
He's
dog?
I wonder if he's, like, moving. No, I mean, I'm leaving. This whole experiment thing has been a failure. I got a buddy in Alaska who says he can get me a job.
Wait, Alaska? I don't think you're thinking straight. Why don't you come in and sit down?
Nah, done sitting down. No point in being here if I can't see Karen.
I mean,
at
was
least...
it like restrictive no visitation rights at all? Like she's got full custody kind of thing?
Right.
You said your ex's full custody was provisional. That means you can work on getting shared custody, or you can still have visitation.
I didn't come here to argue. I just wanted to tell you I'm leaving tomorrow morning.
Right.
There's also level 2 where I'm like, I appreciate this. We're going like, I'm invested, but also,
I'm
it's a
going
little invasive.
Well, I know, and her going some level of. But you're one of the, bless you, very few anchors that I have around here in this place that's very foreign to me.
Right.
And going, so I might care about you in like an overly proportionate amount, simply going, I'm trying to get away from something that was bad for me and just connect to something new.
Yeah.
So all pieces of it are suddenly way more important to me.
Right, and going like, you are my friend.
This is part of what makes up my experience here.
My friend, no.
Huh.
Not.
Good night.
Hi.
Luke, damn. All right.
Ouch.
Well, that's a little rough. On the other hand, that's very normal. If we're not assuming, like, heteronormative standard that they're going to be shipped together, there's no reason he has to stay.
It's true. No, I'm not assuming that at all.
No, but I mean,
like
story narrative time going,
right?
They haven't had a lot of time to build friendship. He's clearly in a very complex time in his life. There's no reason to assume she can provide him any kind of the support that he actually needs.
Right.
They barely know each other.
Right.
And again, so
which
for
is
her,
very aware, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I feel like her, again, it's one of those weird sort of awareness pieces of the game, this sort of unusual balance.
Coming off the butt end of an extremely aggressive, like, derogatory man stereotype that frustrates
And
me.
then you suddenly have this more sensitive, thoughtful, more complex building of another character that's more realistic. And Lily going, again, if you have that sort of attachment of going, but this is my new life, this is what I know about it, you are part of what I am familiar with here, and you've also helped me, I feel like I also want to help you and keep that connection because I am very isolated in this new place.
And it's true for her. She is really by herself in a lot of ways, which I have to give definitely props to her because it sounds like she's very much... I don't know actually if she's really used to a lot of people, but she's at least used to having like a big huge city or town around her. So.
Right, she is used to being in the city. All right, so loud. All right, we're just after 6 a.m. here.
Dang, man,
That's
you'd never be able to sleep long.
Like early. I love the dust motes in the air though. It's very nice.
Atmospheric,
touch.
very pretty.
Yeah, it's very pretty. Somebody can't get their car to start? He can't leave because his car won't go.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Luke? Hey. It was almost like Twilight for a second. I loved that.
That was great.
Talk to Luke. Let's
talk
do it.
to Luke.
Hello, Luke.
Hello, Luke.
Hello. Oh, look at Rocky just having a time. Yeah. Howdy, stranger. Morning. Oh, wow. I've never gotten a good look at your sculptures before. You know, I've never really taken a lot of time to get to know anything about what you care about. Now that I realize it,
Well, it's also like
I like them. You know what? My grandpa also did some sculptures. He never finished a lot of them. Oh, I mean, my uncle, great uncle,
yeah.
sorry. Great uncle.
Can you get that battery for me?
Sure, I think so. Battery? Ha.
Car battery. I need to keep this clamped. It's over there somewhere.
Fetch quest time!
Hey!
Sure. Oh, sure.
It's so helpful when the screen shifts, where most of the time in real life you go, over there. Where's over there?
And they kind of gesture vaguely with their elbow, and they think it's obvious because they know exactly where it is and have full context, and you're going, right. What? And someone's going, it's right in front of you. You're like, but I didn't know what to pay attention to at all.
Right.
So the right in front of me wasn't right in front of me because I was literally looking at the whole entire scene.
Right?
Sure. I think
I see it.
Find the battery. I wanted to take like 4 stars or something ridiculous because you have to look, look more, look again, double check where it is. Go over here. Here you go. I love the implication that she just got it palmed on one hand. This like 30-pound car battery. Here you go. Like, Lily, you are strong.
She's like, I did all those workout aerobic exercises in, you know, my little cell at work, basically.
I was so angry and disenfranchised. It just lift.
Hello, thank you for calling. Blah, 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 blah.
Yes, she's just wearing her headset, doing little arm curls. I get this. Here you go. Well, what's the battery for?
For the car?
I don't know much about cars and things. Oh, right. Car battery. You know what?
Is that what that was? She sounds like an alien sometimes.
Also going, if you knew what to pick up and bring over.
That's why I said, sounds like an alien.
How did you? I love music. This is music. Is there music on right
This
now?
is my favorite part. Oh, it's done?
Oh,
it's
well, yeah.
over?
I love music.
This is the end of the song?
Do you like music? Oh, I wish we could hear some music. Man, this music is great. Oh, there's not any music on? Oh, that series was amazing.
That was really funny.
Car battery. I was thinking about something else. Luke, I grew up without a dad, and I'm having a sympathetic experience. Yes, they're actually going to connect us to her experience here.
But I'm
and
also
why she's feeling more attached to it, and that it's not as much, it's not about between him and her, it's about her going, I might know how your kid feels.
There's also, though, a thing potentially here of, maybe I'm just sort of jumping to conclusions, but I kind of really would like to see, like, we've mentioned before, kind of going, like, it's trying maybe to go for a more positive experience in regards to divorce. So divorce is way more common in the United States than people want to own up to.
Yes.
Like at all. It's really common. But that doesn't make it bad. It
doesn't.
means that people are actually allowed and feel comfortable in going, you know what? What we connected on, we don't have that anymore. Or I couldn't ever figure out actually what we did connect on, or we basically connected under a trauma situation and we are not under trauma anymore. So I've been able to figure out who I am and who we are together, which is not what works for me.
Yeah, that works for me, or that works for you, or that works for whatever. Yeah, and going, it is an experience of going, divorce is painted really negatively in reference to the children's experience. And there are a lot of people, including even Markiplier, who express like bitterness as, well, my parents got divorced. Like even some really big people out there, basically, they code to their audience of going, you should be resentful towards your parents to some degree because they got a divorce and it didn't consider you. On the other hand, I have also met a few people who are like, my parents were so much happier people once they got a divorce that while I resented them when I was younger because, I was told by my friends that this was socially not a good thing, I got the experience socially that your parents should be together. I figured out pretty early that I liked my parents better as individuals when they weren't together, even if it wasn't what I was used to. But I feel like there's so much negative coding of divorce from the kids' point of view going, this isn't an activity to hurt kids. The way we interact with our kids in reference to marriage, the kids shouldn't be basically we shouldn't be telling our kids that they have any investment in their parents' relationship with each other. It is not their job.
Right.
While they are connected to the family piece of it, the fact that you are related to your kid does not go away when you get a divorce.
No kidding.
At all.
It just means you're not connected to that other person that you're not actually still related to.
Yes.
That you got together we got together for lots of reasons, possibly.
This idea that it has to hurt the children or be bad for them is really harmful because it often creates that experience even when it didn't have to be there.
Actually, that's a good thing that I'd like to talk more about anyway. For me, of going, like, the thing that I've hated a lot about the way marriage tends to be, codified is going, marriage always equals you are deeply in love, and you are deeply romantic, and you're deeply blah, 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 heavily, intimately connected. And it's like, I've known a lot of people who are like, we just got together because we were really great friends. And that was fine. Sure, we liked each other and we were romantically attracted, but also going, we were mostly just friends.
It just worked well.
And
we were hanging out anyway.
And there are some people who are just like, we just got married because it was convenient and we needed to survive, which is actually more of a thing now, especially with the fact that due to a lot of income inequality that's going on in the United States, at least, they're like, we just got together because it was much more beneficial to be together because marriage here offers you a ton of benefits.
Like tax-wise.
Like
monetary-wise.
But like, dang, I just, like, that's actually one thing that's really frustrated me in terms also with like writers, well, they'll obsessively go off in a lot of fantasy books or in a lot of sci-fi books or whatever of going, the only real relationships in this world are your marriages and the true
all you
traditional
need is love, they say. But what they mean is romantic love, sexual,
which they are always intrinsically then tied together. They're not even things that are separate. But I'm just like, that's what frustrates me sometimes, being somebody, even where my parents stayed together, I don't really necessarily think they get along all that well, and it's been frustrating for me actually as I've gotten older and more, more aware of their boundaries, but it doesn't seem like, that's why I'm like, I honestly in some ways wish they would find something else to do because they don't appear to be happy.
Yes.
Like at all. My dad, for me, feels really disenfranchised, and my mom feels really desperate and just going, like, well, this is my life.
So for me, my parents have both, were divorced. They got divorced when I was very young. I didn't feel like it affected me at all. I say very young, like I was 3.5. And they lived in very different places. I had my experience split, where I spent summers with my dad, and I spent, and like every other Christmas, and I spent the school year with my mom. And like, that never felt bad to me at all. Like, I never had a problem with moving from place to place. I didn't have any, like, desperately missing my mom or desperately missing my dad. They both just had their own lives. But again, I'm an introvert, and it really seemed good. They both turned into a lot more balanced people because they were away from each other. And then both of them got married again. And my mom's actually been divorced twice and is on her third marriage now. And my dad is still on his second marriage, but he seems deeply unhappy. And I'm just going to get really personal and put his business out there just a little bit, where in reference of going, my dad has admitted to me that his greatest fear is loneliness. Like, if you stand in, front of the mirror of Erised or whatever, and he looked in, like, the opposite of it, like the dark version, or like if he was in front of a Bogart, basically, there'd be nothing there. It would remove everyone in the entire room. Isolation is what he's afraid of.
Yeah.
And what he wants most is to not be isolated. Like, that's it. And so my dad is married in his second marriage based on what he's even told me, because he doesn't want to be alone.
Which I have to say, for me, I'm like, wow, I feel like basically society has failed you. We've given you no other point or no other purpose or no other way to spend your time or your energy, or you have no other activities or people that you're connected to of going, what you need is the only way to be truly satisfied is you need to be with someone else.
Yep. And
because being lonely,
he's really unhappy. And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with, his partner, my stepmom, Carol. She also seems very unhappy, but again, sort of afraid of that loneliness kind of thing.
Right.
And there's just this experience of going, you don't have to stay together just because you don't want to be alone. But again, this experience of going, keep a marriage just because it is a marriage, of going, people should be able to be happy. And you should be able to, like it shouldn't just ultimately, it shouldn't have to intrinsically hurt your kids because you guys got together or didn't get together. Like, can you imagine if it had to hurt some child every time you dated someone and broke up?
Right.
Like if this is this model for, like, well, but marriage, it's different, except for a lot of people aren't married when they have kids together, and going, but socially there's this painting of going, it has to hurt the child when the parents break up, and going, why? Why do we tell them that their happiness and part of their entire rest of their whole life has to be affected by what their parents did, who are not them?
Yeah, and who are trying to also take care of themselves, and in many cases also didn't have enough answers for them either.
Yes.
Like, we keep thinking of basically also that thing of going, like, yeah, your parents are, they're God. They can do no wrong. They know everything.
Yeah,
and
but also just
like,
going... Anyway, so that's sort of my sort of, I like that she's talking about this from a sympathetic point of view, but I also like that she's trying to go, look, it's better to have your dad there than not there. At least that's what it feels like it's going.
At least I hope so. Again, we've jumped.
I'm sort of jumping ahead on this, but like, it really is
so.
showing, if you're trying to do good things for your kids, you should be doing it from a point of an individual, even when you are a couple, because you're still both supposed to be yourself.
No kidding.
Like, when you are a couple, you are still yourselves.
Ugh.
I grew up without a dad. And it sucked, you know? Mom had to work so much. That's how I ended up here so many weekends and summers. There were weeks, months that I barely saw her. I'm glad I had Aunt Mary, but it would have been better if my dad was actually around sometimes. And if he was a good person, that would have helped too. I'm just saying that there are lots of kids like me, and not all of them end up inheriting mansions.
Hey!
Thank you for calling yourself out! I just wanted to tell you.
Because it's also like, your daughter in some ways might end up so...
It doesn't always turn out well for her.
No.
If you're struggling to keep things afloat the entire time, she might just struggle to keep things afloat her entire life too.
Yeah. So
because
it's one
we
of those
model
things...
our parents.
Yeah, we really do.
Whether we model our parents in payday loans, whether we model our parents in low-income jobs, whether we model our parents in their relationship models and not knowing how to pick out a partner who's well-suited to us and what we actually want in our larger life goals, if we even know what any of our larger life goals are. We model our parents in amazing ways. You might have this problem sometimes where you go, oh, I sound like my mom, or oh, I sound like my dad, but it's more like your overarching behavior of your choices is largely modeled, if they're unexamined, against what you've seen the powerful adults in your life do. And I say powerful like the strong influences in your life.
Yeah.
And it's not like conscious choices. It's like small, like subtle behaviors.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Ugh. Her face just been like...
And she's just like, come on, Roxy. I feel like making some art. Do we do art? Does she do art?
It might be. Oh no, are we actually gonna
Are we gonna try it?
make stone art?
We're gonna try and do something with his art.
Oh.
Let's do. I'm gonna go for the sculptures. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for the dang sculptures. Go. Do I know how to do this? Heck yeah. Uncle Arthur never finished this statuette. I still love the wrecked statues here in the corner, the overgrown ones.
Right.
They're great. And this mosaic floor is either damaged or also unfinished. Or both.
Yep.
Unfinished and then damaged because it was left there so long. Well, Uncle Arthur was a Renaissance man. No reason I can't be a Renaissance woman. Accountant, gardener, sculptor. So this is actually a really neat little piece. Like, this is very charming of going accountant, gardener, sculptor, but this is literally her defining her self-image in this moment.
Yeah.
Like, this is her self-concept, and she's just adding to it and taking that on. And like, when people talk about your self-esteem and your self-image, this is it. Just in that moment going, this is actually a piece of who I am, and just taking that on. So that's a really cool little thing that I think a lot of stories don't make clear enough what they're doing in that moment.
Yeah.
All right. Accountant, gardener, sculptor. All right. Looks like a complete hammer and chisel tool set. It's so good that he had all of his tools in safe places. Like, that's really cool. Even like
Looks like they were just out on the bench part.
No, she opened it and
did
pulled them
she?
out. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, I missed that because wow.
Now, master sculptress, which should you work on first? Oh, are you going to look at all of these? Holy cow, because I want to see those guys fixed up. Like, I
thought we
really
said
do.
pick to do sculptures.
No, I guess. We did pick sculptures, but Make Stone Art apparently talked about both.
Oh, so...
So that was a little bit, like, mislabeled. It should have been assess the art situation,
right.
I think for that one, like, Make Stone Art, then she talked about...
I wonder then if make a painting is the same thing.
Maybe, because she talked about the mosaic and she talked about the sculpture, so that's all stone art. It's stone mosaic.
Right.
So it was more like assess the situation of the stone art.
Yes, I'm like, I feel like that was definitely a
and so let's try and make a painting
there.
and see if that's similar.
Yeah.
See if that's assessing the situation as well with like painting stuff. Oh no, she just goes straight for it. Not much of a painter, but if Uncle Arthur could do it with arthritis and dementia, oh, dementia's so rough. I know I can do it, even with my case of 30-something back. My case of 30-something back?
Yeah, so remember that joke we had all the time when we worked at the bakehouse? Where loads of people used to go off and going, as soon as you hit 30, your back's going to start going out on
she's
you.
talking about her physical back. I was thinking like back there,
no.
and I wasn't hitting it. My case of 30-something back, 30-something
so I have to say,
spine.
honestly,
like,
the group that feels like that did this is definitely solidly in the millennial category. This particular game is really funny to me in terms of like, I'm like, the jokes and the humor and the level of awareness for some of this is like, dang.
Yep. Again, we'd like more complexity on the male stereotype characters if possible, but like overall this game keeps being that sort of, again, interesting swing of very thoughtful and just really missing the note, if you will. Let's do it. I'm glad you got that reference. It's been so cool playing these games with my friend. A little green, a little blue, because they notice things that I don't notice and pick stuff up. A little seagull.
Are we gonna just do this, and be happy?
Oh, we're just gonna have happy little trees. Kind of like it. Those Bob Ross videos really pay off. He's amazing. Wonder if Uncle Arthur would be proud of me. I think he would. Yeah, I feel like definitely in reference to make stone art, it should have been called something else in the first place. Because that was definitely an assessment of the situation, and this one was straight into the painting.
Right.
And so that's the first choice where I felt like some of the pathing has been a little bit weird, where the story didn't seem to lead directly to the choices very clearly. But in this case, the choice didn't actually make sense. So that one was a little bit like, dang.
Again, a misnomer / misdirection.
Right. I think he would. It was a little uneven compared to how they could have approached it.
All right, well,
make the mosaic stone floor. I want to do the statuette. That's what I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to figure out sculpting. Also, please protect your hands. Holy cow. Protect your hands, my dear. I remember reading one of those inspirational quotes on social media a while back. The sculpture already exists within stone. You just have to chip away the superfluous material. I love that. Good job. I have actually read that quote. It's very cute. That's sort of what I'm doing with my life right now. Just chipping away whatever doesn't belong. Again, more self-image awareness. Easy? Yeah, and nope. Okay. Oh, that's cute.
Oh, that's really cute.
Not bad for a collaboration between me and a dead guy. That's adorable.
That's very
cute. She's like, that was the best I could do. I wonder if this would fetch a good price at a gallery. Just kidding, Uncle Arthur. Kinda. Still thinking about money. I'm still used to not having that much money.
Which is also, though, an interesting thing, too, of being like, there's still that thread of going, your life is really, in a lot of ways, super controlled by money when everything around you is literally graded in money.
How much it's worth. And you think about a lot of your artistic choices in reference to money as well.
Oh, you had problems like that.
I did. In my foray into the art world, there was all the time this experience of going, I've made something I loved. And it worked out sometimes and sometimes it didn't. But also going, then I made something that I thought would sell. Some of the other artists I worked with, there was one, she talked about it, and she's like, she did a lot of work that she loved, but she's like, she had these little prints of like heart pictures. And I said, wow, some of these are really fun looking. She's like, oh my God, the goddamn hearts. And like, she was wonderful to talk to. She also did jazz singing on the side. She was very fun to listen to.
That's adorable.
I was just say she had sort of like a New Orleans background anyway, but she was, away from her
a lounge kind of singer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like kind
beautiful.
of fun, like, lounge blues, that kind of stuff.
That's lovely.
And so anyway, she talked about, she's like, everyone, the hearts, all the time. Those take me 10 minutes to make, and I only make them because they sell. Like, she hated them. And the thing was, she made them because they funded her other art. It's like the Proclaimers, the band, the Proclaimers, where they sing, I would walk 500 miles. So that song was their one-hit wonder. However, when they have done their more modern, like, they've continued doing work this entire time, like from when they made that song till now. And I've heard some of their modern stuff, and a lot of it's really fun. And some of it's really cool. Like, a couple of their songs are still really good and strike a chord with me. But even when they do their live performances, they're like, the song that allowed us to keep making the music we wanted to make. That song funded everything they wanted to do.
Yeah.
But it was the only song that hit a chord that strongly with society. And so they're like, there's some sort of bittersweetness to it of going, we've wanted to do music this whole time and we've continued doing it, but nothing else connected with people except that one work we did.
Yeah.
In the same way. So there's like, which allowed us to do everything else, which is an amazing amount of freedom, but at the same time, we'd love that kind of connection again.
Right.
So there's that kind of like bittersweet experience of an artist going, well, I know one area I can connect with people, but it's not necessarily...
It's like Harrison Ford.
It's not the full experience of who I am.
So one of the things is actually, so Harrison Ford strongly really didn't want to be known as basically the Han Solo guy or whatever else. Like, he wanted to do other things.
Right.
And he's actually strongly disliked being associated with Han Solo. And Harrison Ford wanted to do other things, but also he, interestingly enough, was actually a carpenter up until like he was like 31 or 32 when he got the role to actually play Han Solo.
By accident, because he was working on the set, and someone went, well, let's see if he can do it.
Right.
Because they lost the guy they had cast.
Right.
Which is an interesting story.
Really interesting, but it's also just like he didn't really care for it. That's actually one of the reasons why everybody's like, he probably got, he probably insisted basically that Han die in the most recent Star Wars, if you don't know anything about it. The theoretically going, like, he just wanted to be done. He actually was expecting, so in the original trilogy, he was going, Han should die. He was the biggest advocate for going, Han, when he goes into the carbonite, It should basically he shouldn't go into carbonite. He should never come back. He should die.
That should be
He should be done. He was prepared to put that. He didn't want to do it anymore, kind of thing. And it was very interesting. And then it basically blew up and became incredibly popular.
In reference to sort of defining yourself and your identity, sometimes your social experience defines your identity.
Yep.
And sometimes it can be challenging to be famous because people will continue to see you for that one piece of work.
Yep.
Now, what I have to say is I respect the hell out of people who can perform the same song with enthusiasm 1,000 times. I have often said respect for Celine Dion, like hard, because when My Heart Will Go On blew up like crazy, she kept singing it as the most like enthusiastic, feeling it power ballad forever because she knew it mattered to other people.
Yep.
And like my entire experience of her talking about that song, the interviews I've seen and seeing her perform it, she never phoned it in and just got through it.
Right.
She really went, this is important to people and I'm going to sing it. And a lot of people would have trouble going, I'm going to sing the exact same thing 1,000 times with feeling. One more time with feeling.
A sort of sad version of that is actually the story of Tim Curry. So Tim Curry, if you guys don't know him, he did the voice to like Hraxus or whatever the crap his name is. Hexus. There we go. In Fern Gully. He's also done the big demon monster in Legend.
Oh yeah, he was Darkness in Legend.
He was Darkness in Legend. He also did Frankenfurter out of Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yep.
And so, and also he's done several other different roles
and some other
as well.
very fun roles. I actually loved him in the Clue movie. He was great.
He was fabulous.
He was
Gosh,
so
he's
much
much fun. He's such a great, like, basically character actor in that sense, but he's always, you're like, it's Tim Curry, right? You can always tell it's him. The thing that was very sad about it for him is that I heard, based off of the interviews, that I've also read as well, is basically he was incredibly uncomfortable with the role of Frankenfurter. And the basically level of almost like fan attachment. And people basically started to define him as your Frankenfurter. And he went through some basically serious body dysphoria, like hating, binge eating thing.
Try and get away from
to get away from that image. And it was really sad. And like...
At least this is what we've heard. For any of these are the parts of the stories we've been exposed to, because obviously we don't know any of these people, and we don't know their personal stories other than what they've shared and what we've had access to in the media of what they've shared.
And it could be, again, not completely accurate, and that's fine.
But at the same time, there is a lot of frustration and sadness that goes along with archetyping and boxing people in. And people have talked about, like, basically the tragedy of the comedy actor, where people like Jim Carrey, and I will just mention him because I've had an interesting sort of emotional experience with his career myself, of going, he has done some really complex, deeper roles as far as like trying to get into more serious acting. And everyone just goes, well, he just feels too much like,
he's Jim Carrey.
Still too much Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and so it just comes through, it doesn't work. But for me, like, I felt like the balance between the amount of comedy that was required and the amount of drama that was required, like in Endless Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, was really well done. He felt like a very real person going through a very real trauma. And so for me, it was amazing. And I felt like they're not using a lot of his range in so many things because they're going, yeah, but everyone sees the name Jim Carrey and they go comedy.
Right.
And going, there is this sort of boxing limiting experience, especially in the older Hollywood, happen to actors where they get pigeonholed. And people are starting to be able to branch out more, where there's the experience of like, the kids from Harry Potter or like Robert Pattinson from Twilight kind of thing. You can go out and do more things, even if something was a phenomenon, because people are branching out into more things now. There's like the entrepreneurial spirit of going, yeah, well, I write children's books and I act in Hollywood and I've got a clothing line and I've got whatever else going on and I'm a business tycoon. Mm-hmm. And while I don't agree with the capitalistic model, it is this thing of you're allowed to be more than one thing, much more now than you were before.
Yes.
And so I just want to encourage people to allow other people to be more than one thing as well. We wear many hats, even if the fashion is bad. They're all still a part of who we are.
Exactly.
All right. Looks like the other mosaic tiles are still here. Guess I don't need that chisel after all. I can definitely finish this thing myself. Right?
Most like what?
How hard can it be? I think she's really talking about the tile things that she's standing on.
We'll find out.
Underneath everything, under the pergola. I think it's the stone floor under the pergola. Yeah, it really is. Like, it wasn't unfinished. It was just barely not there. This looks painted as well. It doesn't look like tile
I don't
mosaic.
like that very much.
So I don't like that. And also it comes with a rug or a painting of a rug. That one's kind of fun. But this one actually goes really well with the other stone that we've got on the garden path. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like that one.
Yeah, that'll work. I mean, I kind of wanted this one so it's easier to tell where you are. Like, this is the basically patio area.
Oh, it has, a much more even end. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of like that as well. And the color's not bad. You want to go with that one?
Yeah, sure, let's do that.
All right, let's do it. All right, let's do it. We'll work together. Oh, that was really hard. Actually, really, really hard. I had to go back and pull them up and redo it again. I had to learn about grouting and washing it down. I had to move everything out of here. The leaves and flower petals kept falling into it. I
didn't move any of
I had to figure out the right side up and the upside down. Yeah, I tried to build it under the workbench. Anyway, I was like, really, really hard. Actually, a lot of work. That took me like 3 days, but I did it. I bet Uncle Arthur is up there right now saying, hey, that's nowhere near as terrible as I thought it would be.
Aww.
She does so much self-examination here. I love it.
Uh-huh.
Thanks. That means a lot to me. Hypothetical angel uncle.
It's
That's
also the thing
cute.
is that she's also trying to give herself credit.
And she is. She's talking herself up. She's actually being positive to herself. She's doing positive self-talk that she can believe.
Right?
Like she's not doing just basically little aphorisms that she's going,
Platitudes.
well, platitudes going, every day in every way I'm getting better and better, which can be great if you believe it, but if you don't believe it, it's no good. She's
It sounds
saying
incredibly fake.
Yes, she's saying things she can believe, which is great.
Yeah. But she's also trying to be positive. So some people have actually talked about, even when you're depressed, sometimes just trying to be positive, trying to go out of your way to be like, I will try this anyway. I will try to do it. You're so, like we've discussed before about using your thoughts, even though they do not define you, of going like, the more that you try to basically change them into something more positive, change them into something that will be less something that will drag you down or make you feel like you're a terrible person.
So your thoughts do drive your emotions.
Uh-huh.
And so the more you can move them to something that's not doom and gloom and anxiety, basically cycling and spiraling, the more you're going to succeed and have space.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can give yourself mental space, even if it's just a tiny little thing like going, like changing the way you question things. Instead of going, God, why was this so off? Or why is my life always so bad? You just go, why did things turn out this way? It's more positive.
Or going, what is good about this that maybe I'm not getting?
What is good about this that I'm not getting? Or what could I learn from this?
Right.
And you don't have to try and make your pain into something positive. But if you're stuck in pain, see what positivity you can pull in while you're there.
Actively think.
Yes, think. Do thinking.
Howdy, stranger.
Oh, hey, Luke. Car stuff all sorted out?
As sorted out as it can be right now. So is there anything I can help with?
Really?
If I can't find something to do with my hands, I'm gonna go crazy.
Oh, well, I mean, I've got a lot of stuff to do and a really short timeline to do it. Are you okay, sir? Let me not pry. Sure, I have stuff. Well, you do seem to have some upper body strength.
Oh my gosh, you've called out your model.
You have.
You have
great.
all upper body strength and your legs have missed out on leg day.
Yeah, it's hilarious. You're like, I love the tiny little call outs occasionally. I'm still charmed about that. At least 3 ideas. It's so good. But I'm also just like, well, you just do. That's very cute. That's very charming. I'm for it.
Thanks for noticing.
It's your shirt, really. It's how you dress yourself, my dude. You seem like you're trying to get people to notice. But that's just my opinion because I'm also noticing. Yes, you're the big boy. I'm very impressed. Now, yes, you're a big boy. I'm very impressed. So impressed. That's more the tone of it.
That's very cute.
Now, help me move these statues. That was great.
Adorable.
The tone came through because of his interaction. That was so good.
Oh, that's so cute. But
So
you know what, guys? We really appreciate you being here and
Yes.
and
if you
talking
would like
through
to
with us.
Yes. And if you would like to weigh in on any of those discussions, or if anything helps you, or you like the way we handle things, or if you're just like, whatever it is, we'd love to hear from you.
Yep,
And
absolutely.
if you'd like to support us, we have like Patreon, Ko-Fi links and things like that.
That are down below in the description, so feel free to go check them out.
Sometimes we also put funny commentary in the descriptions. At least we work really hard on doing it almost every single
We
time.
try. All right. So I have been Scandal.
And I have been Les.
And
And it was great playing with you. Bye!